you the link like this. Okay. So this is your Boomi homepage. Under this homepage where you can find the sign up for free trial. If you click this sign up for free trial, you will get into this page where you will be just giving your first name, last name, and business email address and click continue. Once you've given that, okay, for training purpose, I'm using Akshay Kumar Reddy. Okay. So once you've given the details, right, you will get the other information like this. So you have to fill all the details, company name, job title. For now, you can put software developer and your phone number and country. Priorities of using Boomi, this is optional tab. Still, if you want to do, still if you want to fill this information, just fill Boomi developer, something like that, and click on the agree button and click submit. Once you submit your, login details, right, and before submitting the form, just make sure all the details are clear. Exclusively for business email address, because once you submit it, right, this is one-time access. So if your account got messed up with the ID, then you cannot use the same ID for one more time for the login setup and all, right? So before submitting, just make sure all the details are correct and then click submit button like this. Uh, Here, yeah, you can click the submit button, and you will get the email from Boomi register page, like a Boomi register email like this. So what you need to do is you need to activate your account. This Boomi account will expire in 30 days, but after that also you can actually extend your account by using renewal link. That link also I'll share at the end of uh, this Boomi course. I'll share the other reference links and all where to reactivate the account and all. That information and all I'll give you. But yeah, since it is 18 days program, so 30 days is enough for us. So this is a 30 days account. Once you click this activate button, right, it will redirect to the sign in page with the reset your password option, where you will be, you know, creating your new password. Once you complete that setup, it will take you back to this home screen, and this is how you set up your account. So just a quick recap. Uh, Once you log into the platform.boomi.com, you'll get the home page like this and click on the sign up option and fill all the required details for the sign up. Once you click submit, you will get the email like this. You will activate this account, and it will take you to the reset your password page where you will set up your new password for Boomi account. And once you come back, you will get the home screen like this. Okay. And after entering your username and password, just click on the sign in button. It will take you to the training account, and just make sure your account has this word training. Okay. Nowadays, Boomi is creating a lot of different accounts. If it is, prefixing with training, then you will get to see this Boomi process library. Under this Boomi process library, if you click, you will get to see the education service. Okay. And this will benefit for your course. Even after the course also, like you can use other options. Okay. Like if you want to create your own program and you want to use a couple of connections with using Boomi education services, there are already predefined connections. So with the help of that, you can create all the connectivities and all. Yeah, going forward we'll see what is this connection processes and everything. So today I wanted to just give you the glimpse of account creation and wind up the class, and tomorrow onwards we can see we can start the class, basically the syllabus and all we can start tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't see this training tab, but I could see the browse process library.
Browse process library you could see, but under that you cannot see the education services. If your account is not stating training, then you cannot see the education services. You can see only Boomi. Just make sure
Yeah, but how can I get the training version then? Tab.
Um, yeah, I mean, with your business account itself, right? It will take some time. I think uh, after 5 to 6 days nowadays they are creating the training accounts. Okay. Initially, when we create the sign up page, right? It will take you to the training account, and it just creates the training account. But after what to say, last November onwards, there is one update came and it is messing up all the things. Okay. So what you can do is you can mail to
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I already created this account. I told right 2 weeks back. So I have only
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you supposed to get this training account by after 1 week you should have you should have received one more email for a training account, and under your actual account, right? You see if this is your actual account, under that you could find the training account. If you're not finding any training account like this, there is one email I can share where you can mail to them. And so this is our training contact email.
Mhm.
This is Boomi training contact email where you can directly email to them and ask for create a training account. They will set up. Okay. This is the kind of toll free email ID, uh, like customer support email ID, that you can ask them to create your training account. You can raise a complaint stating that you created a login 2 weeks back for Boomi training, but it is not creating the Boomi training account. Instead, you just share the screenshot, whatever the account name it got created, also stating that process library is not having the education service tab. Like that, you can mention and you can email to them. So within 1 or 2 days, they will set up the training account for you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. You also can note down the email ID, which will help you in future after creating your training account. Since Madhu has created her own account almost 2 weeks back, right? So when you guys are creating your Boomi account, just try to make sure whether you have the training prefix. If it is training, then you can able to see the education service tab. If it is not visible for your account, then you can mail to that ID which I share, and you can you can raise a ticket stating all the information, like what is your account type, and what are the options are available under the Boomi process library. You ask them to provide the training details for training purpose. Okay. And yeah, coming to this message tab here, right? You can find how many days this ID will be available, and how long it takes to expire, and so all these details and all you can see. If it is the training account, you will get the 60 days trial. Okay. See here, 41 days are already there for me. And even after 41 days also, I can extend my account. There is one more renewal link which is available for Boomi. So if I go and access that renewal link, it will extend my Boomi platform account for next 30 days. Like that, every 30 days. Sorry, not next 30 days, next 90 days. Okay, 3 months plan like that. And every 90 days, I can renew it whenever need. Okay.
Do we need to pay if
Yeah.
it is right?
No,
It's
no.
right.
Boomi is completely free account. I mean,
Okay.
license free account. Okay, where you can create your account and you can access it for free. No need to pay and anything. Okay. Even after this course, also I'll share some reference link where you can get the trainings. Even the professional after the professional training also. If you want to go through the API management, EDA, those course links also I'll share. Just if you want to advance your skill in terms of Boomi, you can go through the links. They'll also, like 2 to 3 days you can finish up your trainings, and you'll get some idea like what is EDA, what is APIs, If you want to go through flows, MBA master data management, all these trainings are available in Boomi. They are all free course materials. Okay. After this professional courses, if you still want to advance your skill, you can go and train them. But if you want to go for a job hunting, yeah, just prepare with the fundamentals and then yeah, hit the trainings. Okay. Let me check if I have the material and wait, okay. We can start the XML creation today. How many of you know XML JSON and how to create XML JSON? Any idea?
Yes, I know. XML and this both.
Madhu, right? Okay. Uh, except Madhu, do you guys have any idea like what? Have you heard the term XML JSON PHP and all?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I know, but I haven't used it extensively.
Okay. So yeah, today we'll see the Boomi profile creation, and tomorrow onwards, we'll start the mapping concepts and all. So, Boomi is basically a drag and drop tool. Okay, it's like Android tool, like that is one Android tool, right? Visual Studio or Android Studio. So if you see that software, right, where you can drag and drop all the shapes which are required to create your own application. And then at the back end, there is a different screen where you will code the Java program, manifest the code and all. You will enter it and you will execute it, compile it. Once that is running fine, then the same features you can encode or media convert into the different screen where you can find all the app features. And if you click button by button or check all these, test all these drag and drop features which are in screen, and it will give you the result whatever you have created in Android Studio screen. Same way, Boomi also kind of a drag and drop tool where you will be drag and drop all the shapes into the Boomi screen. So before we start, right, I wanted to show you the uh, Boomi screen, how it looks and what are the features we have, and then we'll go and start the profile creation. Okay? I'll give you the syntax how to create XML and JSON, and today onwards, we can start creating the Boomi profiles, and we'll see in future classes how we are going to use those XML JSONs into the Boomi screen. Okay. So first, when you create a new process, right? What is this process? I was talking about process since from the starting, right? So what is this process mean? As I told in the last demo session, right? There is a term called integration. Integration is what? It's a journey, uh, from one place to another place where you are shifting. That journey is called integration. So how this journey we can do it? Okay. Um, when you make a product, when you make a vehicle, right? When you make a vehicle and set up your engine and create your environment to ready to move, and then when you start your vehicle, it will start. It will start, and you can move from one place to another place. And who is data here? We are the data. We are transferring from one state to another state. So that is called integration. And how can you achieve that? By a process. Okay. Um, so process is nothing but it is a combination of shapes and components. So when you're building a car, right? You are building, you are assembling a lot of parts. Okay. Consider those parts as shapes or components, which can be, reusable components or one-time usable components, or lot of different equipments or elements are required to assemble that car. And with the help, after building after setting up a car, you will be moving from one place to another place. Same way, Boomi also, does the same thing. Like when you want to do a integration for any organization or for any data, if you want to handle any individual data also, what you need to do is you need to build a process. This process carries your data and it can move from one place to another place. So from source application to the target application, it can be any form. And Boomi supports only 5 profiles, okay, 5 forms of data. We'll see in the later classes like what are those 5 forms of data and all. We are going again. We are going to see all those formats and everything except the EDA, like 4 formats we can see it. EDA and all some advanced classes, but still, uh, Boomi supports only 5 formats. Apart from these 5 formats, also Boomi externally supports Excel, PDF, image formats. Also, we can handle it. Okay, that and all very advanced topics and very rare cases from the customers we will get. Mostly these are the 4 to 5 formats we work with Boomi. 99 percentage any business account which contains uh, which contains the data in the format of these 5 profiles. Okay, we don't run into the situation every time that customer asks you to create the Excel documents or create the PDF documents. Okay, so that and all very difficult concepts. But still, some customers they request to get the file from SharePoint, get the Excel file from SharePoint account, and ask you to convert into a CSV like that. But for that and all, we have the ready code available in Boomi. You need to create some jar files and all. Yeah, that we can see in the later phases. Okay, that I will give you as the projects, so you will be working on it. So first thing first, uh, what is process? Process is a combination of shapes and components. Okay, what is this shape and component? Okay, what is this shape and component? You need the difference between the shape and component. So, uh, before we get into the topic of shape and component, I want to show you this Boomi whole screen and how it looks like and what are the names for them. Okay, so this is our Boomi homepage. In this Boomi homepage, you can find lot of the navigation information here. So if you click the service button, you can see the other options like integration, API management, Boomi Flow, Boomi event streams, okay, data catalog and preparations, master data hub. These are the different services Boomi is providing. Boomi is not only providing the integration service, it also provides the API management. It also provides the flow where you can create your own, the site. Okay, own site you can create it. A master data hub. Um, where you can centralize your information in one place and with the help of the golden records you can retrieve the information, and event stream where you can create your own views and topics in the event stream like that. So different services Boomi is providing. So we are in this professional course, mostly we are going to see the integration service. Okay, so what integration what integration service consists of, and how we are going to build the process, deploy the process, manage the process in terms of success and error time, and how to maintain the licensing count, how to deploy the process during the deployment process. What are the best practices we'll follow during the building a process? What are the best practices we'll follow? All this stuff and all we can see it under integration service. Okay, so this consists of service tab and resource tab where you will find all the Boomi documentation for the help page, community page, and support tickets also you can raise. Okay, the thing is, if you have any issues with this Boomi platform or account, you can go to the support page and you can create your own ticket to apply to Boomi team so that somebody from Boomi support will contact you to resolve your query. Okay, that support you can get. And Boomi community is nothing but where a lot of experts posting their questions and answers for different scenarios. Whenever you stuck between any scenario, we try to go to this Boomi community page and try to look into the solutions for it. Somehow we'll get a links with the help of those reference links and the content posted by the Boomi experts, right? You can get to see all your Boomi related queries during your the practical time. And Boomi documentation is nothing but where you can find all your help page links. Say for an example, today if I'm taking a concept of map and you're not understanding that, and if you want to go through the content, what map is for and what map consists of, so you can go to the documentation page where you can find the map shape information and all the content written over there, and you can do for your case. Okay. This is what the resource tab consists of, and Boomi Labs and all not an important topic for now. And let's move on to the settings where you can see all the account information under your training account. Okay, the user information under your training account. As of now, except license counting, we are not going to use this setting page. So during the time of license counting discussion, I'll show you this page how it looks like. Okay, and this is your toggle button for switching different accounts. If you have different accounts, so under this Akshay Reddy name, I have two different accounts. So I want to switch to the other account means I can select this tab, and if I click this tab itself, it will take me to the different process. Okay, different Boomi platform account. And so this is how I can switch to the different accounts. If it is your single account, you don't see this inverted triangle button since it is your only one account, right? So if you have multiple accounts, you'll get to see the inverted triangle like this, and if you collapse it, you will get to see all your account details under this. And hover over the account if you want to go in and click on the mouse left click, so it will move you to the different account. Okay. So this is what the navigation tab for you, and there is one more mini navigation we have, which is the main navigation we mostly use during our course. Okay. Dashboard is which will give you the three different dashboard setup. Okay, account details you can find it under this dashboard. HTTP status, like if you are using any APIs and if you want to calculate all those API threshold and other set of information, you can find it under HTTP status dashboard. Okay, and real-time dashboard, how many integrations executed today, what is the response average time for that, process summary report, everything you can see under it. Okay, you can select your individual atoms as well, and based on that you can uh, see all your dashboard information. Okay, so this is what your account dashboard, like what is the throughput, how many documents sent or processed during the month, and how many executions executed. So what type of process errors we received, how many times Atom got went offline. Okay, what is this Atom and all? We'll see tomorrow. Okay. So pending executions, if one execution is running, I mean any process is running, that pending status and all, you can find it under this account tab. And as I told HTTP, it will give you the HTTP summary report here. Okay, when your account is involving with API calls, this tab is useful for you. Like you can find all the information, but mostly I'm saying is mostly we don't use these dashboard options and all. Since you are regular Boomi developer, you will not come here and see it. Mostly the Boomi admin side guys, they will use this dashboard tab and all. Okay, for Boomi developers, we always use these three options. Okay, let me come to the Boomi build page. This is your build page screen where you can see different items here. Okay, I wanted to show you like what are these options and what are they called by. So first, the left side area, Okay, this part of the Boomi build page is called Component Explorer. Okay, where you can find all your reusable components. Okay, as I told, Boomi is having this concept of shape and component, right? So whatever the uh, whatever the reusable components we have built in our Boomi process, that can be displayed over here. Okay, this left side of your Boomi build page is called Component Explorer. If you guys are noting down, please take a note of these points. Okay, Uh, take a note of these points, and it will help you to understand like what are the tabs we have in Boomi build page, and when I say something to go and fetch there, so you should go there and fetch the details. That's how you should be. Okay, so this is called Component Explorer, and this right side space, the wide area of right side space in Boomi build page is called Process Canvas. Same like we have painting canvas and all, right? What we will do in the painting canvas, we'll take our brush and start painting it. Okay, that's the area. It's that's an empty area where you can create your own art. Same way, initially this will be empty. Okay, and then you will drag and drop a lot of shapes and components to create your own integration. So left side of your build page is called Component Explorer, and the right side of the Boomi build page screen is called Process Canvas, where you will build all your Boomi integrations. Okay, that clear? So let me move on to the next one. So I was, hide. Boomi has this hiding feature. So if you click these arrow marks, it will hide your tabs. And if you want to collapse it, you can click forward tab, forward arrow. Okay. So, so this is how your Boomi build page looks like. The left side, center part, and side. Okay. We have seen left side area is Component Explorer, right side area is called the Process Canvas. And what is this center area? It's called Shape Palette. Okay. If you take any, you know, the art, right? What you need to do is you need to make up your brush, right, with the colors. Where you will do a color palette, right? The same way, if you want to create your process and build integration under your process canvas, you need the palette information. So to build any integration, this is the shape palette we will be using in Boomi. And this shape palette has three different tabs: execute, logic, and connect. Okay, we'll slowly see what are these execute, logic, and connect tabs and all. So yeah, these are the three tabs available under the shape palette. Okay, where as I told, Boomi is a drag and drop tool. If you hover over to any shape, you will get to see this plus symbol like this. Okay, let me know if you are able to see the plus symbol. Okay, so once you see this plus symbol, just click on your just click on the left mouse button, left side of the mouse button. And once you do the left click, just, you know, you have selected your shape. You are going to drop into the screen and release your mouse button. Yeah, that's it. This is how you will be drag and dropping it. Okay. And if you click OK, it will stay in the process canvas. If you click cancel, it will vanish. Okay. Let me show you how cancel will work. If I click cancel, it just disappear. It did not fit into my screen, right? So if I want to do it again, just click and drag it, release, and click OK. Now it is set and it is ready to configure, where we will be configuring all our information. Okay. So this is what the Boomi screen has, the features. Also, now we are in the build phase, and in future classes, middle of our once you start creating your own process, we'll move on to the deploy and manage your screen, how it looks, and what are the usage for them and all. Okay. So yeah, this is what for Boomi setup. And tomorrow we'll see what is shape and component, and after that we'll start with Boomi mapping. So Boomi mapping is one of the major cases in Boomi where if you learn how to, you know, create the Boomi mappings and profiles, uh, 50 percentage of the Boomi class is over because there are a lot of stuffs available in Boomi mapping. So once you cover all these topics, right? Uh, I mean, if you understand all those topics, then yeah, 50 percentage of your Boomi is easy for you. After that, the rest of the shapes and other information which I'm going to provide and all, it's kind of complementing the Boomi maps. Like Boomi map is the major case where you want to understand a lot of topics, how to create profiles, how to set up Boomi source destination, how to map them, and Boomi map has a lot of functions which are readily available, how to use them. So these are I mean, this is a very big ocean. It's vague to understand, but yeah, if you initially try some time to understand, put in some time to understand the Boomi map concept, then rest of the Boomi topics will be very easy for you because so this is our Boomi screen. And do you guys remember what are these, you know, um, the build page names I have given? What is this left area?
That is
Anybody?
Component Explorer, and the right side is Process Canvas.
Okay, I'm guessing it's not Madhu who answered
Diksha.
Diksha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So this is Component Explorer, and what is this? Anybody? Subscribe Bharati. This area, center area of the build page. Sorry, little bit louder. Shape palette. Okay, off correct. Yeah, it is shape palette. Okay. Yeah. And what is this area? This right side of the build page.
Process Canvas.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, in this area, right? In this shape palette area only, we are going to pick up all our shapes. But how can we identify whether it is shape or component? Okay. The major difference between the shape and component is shape can be used one time. Okay, we cannot reuse it. But coming to component, it's a reusable shape. Okay, it is a reusable shape where more than one process, if it has any dependency, we can use it. But if you see if you take an example from this execute shape itself, there are a lot of shapes we have, and we have uh, component and shapes mixed in it. Okay, if I drag map and if I drag set properties, notify message. Okay, in this out of four, which one is component and which one is shape? How can you identify that? So basically, how you can identify it is when it comes to the component, right? Let's say this is my map shape and it is giving me to create the option. When I go and create it, right, you will see the save and close option. That is your first thing you can understand. Okay, when it comes to the save, it will be like okay and close. You will see the options okay and cancel. Okay, but coming to the component, you can see save and close, and close options. Okay, that is your uh, first point. You can identify whether this one is a shape or component. Okay, let me show you the difference. Um, So basically, map is a component. I'll tell you how it is a component. Okay. If I open set property, I see only OK and cancel. Okay. And coming to the notify, I see only OK cancel. Coming to the message, I see only OK cancel. Coming to the map, I see okay. You can ask me. I'm seeing outside OK and cancel. But still, any shape, right? You will see OK and cancel. But see whether we can able to create or edit something inside that inside that shape or not. Okay. So for map, right? Yeah, we are seeing obviously we are seeing OK and cancel, but still it is giving me one option to create something. Okay, inside map. So when I go and click here, yeah, I see save and close. So map is a component. First thing I can do, okay, I can understand map is a component. And there is one more thing you can understand. Okay, right side your bottom area. Do you see anything here? This is blank here, right? Okay, just note it down. This is blank here. When I click the save button, right? If I click something, save, if I save something, okay, you see there is one feature created called revision history. Okay, this maintains our versions of the saves. Like previous versions, it will maintain. Basically, this is our current version. So the current version highlighted with this yellow color. Okay, this is my component ID and created by who and by what time. These information you can see it. Okay, when it comes to the component, right? So what I told, first option you will see is save and close option, and the second option when you save something you will get the revision history. So by seeing revision history, you can understand anything. Whenever any shape which has the revision history, that is component. Okay, no doubts about it. Like yes. So now
So,
I have considered something.
so Ravi, if there are multiple maps, if I change the map, like every day I'm changing something, so I'm enhancing the map, and I'm saving. So this revision history already, the version control is already inbuilt in Boomi.
Yes, it is same like I think in Java and all, we can log git log or something, okay, where we will maintain all the Java code revision history, right? Same way for Boomi, right? Yeah, it is inbuilt control where you can maintain all your previous history. Say for an example, okay, in this in this one currently this map is empty, and after some time I'm importing something and saving it. So in the second version, what I can see is the map loaded and everything. But in the first version, the empty map will be shown, right? So that kind of version control, it will give us the, by default by Boomi. So if you want to roll out to the previous versions also, you can do it.
So if we want to go back to we figure out that this new map is not working as expected. If we want to
Exactly.
previous one, and we can do that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You can go to the previous version and roll out the previous savings. So what you need to do is like, let's say you have 5 versions already, and as you told, fifth version is not working out for you, but previously third version, was working. So what you can do is, you can roll out to the third version and save the third one. Okay, not the fifth one. Okay, save the third one and close the fifth one, so that the third version will become your sixth version. Okay, whatever the third version changes, right, that will become your sixth version. And basically you are duplicating your third version into your sixth version, and you can use the same map again. So that rollout you can do it.
Okay, but we cannot use the version 4 or 5, right? We have to open the map, the version 5 map, and then rename or resave it with the version latest version.
See, basically whatever the previous changes you are going to make or save, right, that will not stay in the same version. It will, I mean, the ID values you are seeing, right? The revision ID values, that will be an incremental mode every time. Like whenever you go back and, if you want to roll out some version, and if you are saving something for that version, that basically gets replicated. You're not making the same changes with the previous version. You are just taking that version's changes and replicating it to the new version. So it will increment the number. What is your current version? It will upgrade one version, and the changes wise, it is your previous changes, but version wise it will increment the number. Okay. And there, as you told, yeah, you can update the profile names, map name, or any map updations also you can make it, since it is your current version, right? You can do the changes whatever you wanted. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see all of those things, like how to revisit to the different versions and all. I'll show you how to do it. Yeah. Before that, we need to see the profiles and all, right? So today we'll see XML and JSON structure, and I will give you some exercises to practice, and then yeah, once you fit with the the syntax of XML and JSON, then yeah, we are good. We can come to the mapping, and we can cover all those steps. Okay. So yeah, this is what about the shape and component difference. So do you guys have any questions, like how to identify the shape and component? Yeah, if you see set properties, right? It is also giving me the configure option, and I'm going to set something. Okay, these information, I mean these DDP, dynamic document property, dynamic process properties, and all, which covers in our future classes. Just for an example, I'm just adding some dummy names. Okay, DDP dummy I'm giving, and I'm setting something static value, maybe tomorrow. Okay. See, that configure button is gone, but still if I open the set property, still I don't see any revision history. I don't see save and close button. So I can understand. Okay, set property is not a component. It is a shape. Okay, this way you can understand. And if you come to the message, I can add anything. Click OK, and if I see again, I don't see any revision history here. I don't see OK cancel button. Okay, so coming to the component, there are two things. You will see the save and close option and the revision history. By understanding that, you can identify whether that particular shape is a component or shape. Okay. And yeah, one more thing I wanted to say is, like, if you want to save something into the component, you click save and close option. After that, you will be going to the click close option. But coming to the uh, these guys, right, the shapes. Let me show you that. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to configure anything. Okay. And simply I'm configuring something. Okay. And see, for the shape I have configured, and if I click cancel button, it will ask me to discard the changes. If I go and open it again, it doesn't save for me. Okay. So same way, for any component, before you come back or before you come out of that component, what you'll do, you'll save to make sure all the changes what you made have been properly set in this component, right? Same way, for any shape, if you don't click OK, the content will not save. Whatever you are configuring, it will not save. When you click cancel or anything, it will not save. Okay. So make sure if you are coming out of, like, you are making some changes for shape, and if you are coming out of shape, make sure whether you are clicking OK or cancel. If you click OK, it will stores the content, If you click cancel, it will discard the content. Okay, that's the difference for shape. I mean, for component, you click save and close. For any shapes, you click OK or cancel. Okay, so you see here, I have given DDP sample, and I'm clicking OK here now. You see the configure button is gone, which means my content has stored, right? So this is how you need to store the content when it comes to the component and shape. Okay, let me move on to the next one, Boomi Profiles. Okay, Boomi Profiles, we have, Boomi basically supports 5 formats. Okay, XML, JSON, EDI, database, and flat file. When it comes to flat file, it can be any format. It's a kind of customized format. It can be CSV file, it can be tab delimiter file. CSV and all we all know, right? It's a certain of, I mean, it's a kind of Excel format. It's, I mean, it will not support XLSX. There is a slight difference between XLSX and CSV. Okay, you need to understand that both are basically the Excel format only. We can see it in a row column basis, but still CSV meaning comma separated values, and XLS is actual Excel files. Okay, so that there will be some encoding logics will be used behind it. So yeah, Boomi supports this flat file. Comes under flat file. We have a lot of other delimiter setups, or you can customize your own delimiter as well. Okay, that way also you can work on it. That's the reason we are calling it as flat file, because it doesn't have any format. You can customize or you can define your own format. That is the reason it is flat file. So for intermediate conversions and all, that format is very useful. That profile is very useful. But coming to the major profiles being used in Boomi so far is XML and JSON. So XML and JSON, and for storage related processes like healthcare, finance, manufacturing, these kind of projects mostly they will use DBs. Okay, Oracle DBs, or Amazon S3s, they will use some bucket storages they will use for that, and all DB format is very useful. And coming to the e-commerce based projects, right? Vendor to vendor, B2B, B2C, these projects and all, they'll mostly use EDI formats. When it comes to EDI, we have a lot of transactions, 850, 856, that kind of transactions we have. Sales orders, like if you are ordering something in Amazon, you'll get the invoice, right? You'll get the invoice which states your name, address, billing address, shipping address, and quantity. Uh, what is the product name, and product quantity, unit value, everything you'll see under one invoice, right? So that details you can change electronically. So that information and all comes under EDA. So Boomi supports, by default it has 5 Boomi profiles that are XML, JSON, EDI, database, and flat file. Please note it down. Yes.
Does it support pipe delimited as well?
File delimited, yes, that we can cover it in format. Sorry, the flat file profile. But what type of delimiter you are going to use? That depends.
Pipe delimited.
5 means
Pipe delimited.
pipe. Okay, okay. Yeah, it supports under the flat file. Yeah, we can define pipe delimited values as well. As I told, flat file is a customized profile. By default, it has few options for the delimiters. Pipe, byte character is there, tilde character is there, CSV, comma delimiter is there, star delimiter is there. Star delimiter mostly It will be very useful for EDAs. Comma, it will be useful for intermediate profiles. Pipe is there, yeah, obviously. Tilde is there. Byte is there. And there is one more option called other characters. Under that other character, you can define your own delimiter as well. If you wish to make a different, like I wanted to use at the rate as my delimiter, or hashtag is my delimiter, dollar as my delimiter. That way also you can define under the other category. So that's suppose, okay. So there are 5 Boomi profiles: XML, JSON, flat file, EDA, and database. So first we'll see the XML information. Okay. What is this XML and how we can see it under? XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. Extensible Markup Language. EXTNSIBLE. Extensible. Okay. This basically, during the web UI integrations and all, it will be very useful. Like, uh, for API calls and all, mostly customers, they'll use SOAP calls. So during the time, SOAP only supports for XML. The standard format for SOAP calls are only XMLs. API time we can use it. Um, bigger enterprise applications like NetSuite, Salesforce, um, Oracle. No, Oracle is DB. Sorry. NetSuite, Salesforce, Shopify, SAP. These enterprise companies and all, they'll mostly use XML format just because now the data we are going to maintain is basically it has some security. So XML tags will give you that security because you need to encapsulate your data within the tags. Okay. So you define the tag and based on the tag, you will provide the value. Okay. So that's the reason, the big companies like the enterprise companies or applications, they'll always use the XML. Okay. So XML stands for Extensible Markup Language, but it doesn't have any meaning that only for those companies we need to use XML. Any company or any organization or any application, they will use whatever format they wish to. Boomi is basically a integrator tool, right? So we convert from one format to another format. So Boomi supports XML, so it can be any application. Whoever uses the XML format, anyhow, we are going to pick up the data and convert them into the different format, whichever the format they wish to, right? So yeah, XML is stands for Extensible Markup Language, and the user, it's basically the user defined tags we can create. It doesn't follows any strict structure, stick with it. But when it comes, there is a slight difference between HTML tags and XML tags. HTML tags are useful to create the web apps like the websites and all you are seeing, right? So behind the website, like let me check in Google and all, you can inspect any code. You see, if you inspect any website, right? This is my website, postman.com. Yeah, if you inspect, right, you can find all these tags. Div class is there, right? Script is there. See, these and all tags created for this website. To create this website, they have used HTML, and this is my body. Okay. If I keep my cursor under this body tab, it covers, the blue highlighted area comes under this tag only. Okay. So if I keep my cursor into a different tag, it shows, okay, which part of the area, this tag covers, right? You see? So these are all called tags. Okay, they encapsulated with greater than and less than symbol. Okay, these are all tags. So the slight difference between HTML and XML is HTML tags are predefined one. It is systemized defined one. If we give div, okay, that will work for only the div classes. Okay, if I give a different one, h1, h2, h3 like that, it will only work for headers. Like you see, this font is bigger and this font is smaller. How we can define that one is basically by having the header tags. Okay, h1, h2, h3, that defines the font sizes and all. So we need to follow the specified structure or already defined predefined tags only we can use for HTML. But coming to XML, we don't have any control to use any predefined tags. We can create our own user defined tags. Okay, but it should be properly closed by the closed tag. So first let's see what is the syntax for uh, XML and how we can create it. Okay, so yeah, if you see my screen here, this is our basic XML format and how I have created that you need to understand. Okay, so first thing, yeah, I have given under the tags. Okay, um, the header value or the header names. Okay, uh, comes under the tags. So first rule is you need to define your headers. That headers should be encapsulated with less than and greater than symbol like this. Okay, I so this is my first header. Employee details is my first header, and I have encapsulated with less than and greater than symbol. And the second rule is you need to close the tag by the supporting tag with slash before it. Okay, so this is my header value, header tag. And for this header tag, I created the same header tag, but I have used one slash before the tag. Okay, before the employee details, I have used slash, which basically helps me to understand. Okay, this tag is properly closed by the uh, closed tag. Okay, this is open tag and this is closed tag. That way you can understand. Okay, so first thing you need to create your user defined header values, and that header value should closed by the proper closed tag. Okay, so this is the second rule. And the syntax wise, how you need to create the pattern is, see, this is my first tag, and this is my second tag, and this is my third, and this is my fourth. Okay, but these have different namings, and how you can understand the structure is like the first one is called root tag. Okay, or you can say um, grandparents. Okay, grandparent. The second one is called subroot, or you can say parent tag. Okay, it's called subroot. And this one is called child or grandchild. Okay, coming to the family relationship, we can say child or grandchild. Anything is fine, but we'll consider this as child tag as of now. No need to go with grandparent and all. Okay. So this is the syntax you need to follow for your XML formats. That will be very useful to split the XML structure in future. Okay, we'll see what are the split options and all. But yeah, the syntax wise, you need to follow the structure. Okay, so first thing, your tag or the header values are user defined. So you can create whatever name you wanted to start with. Okay, I started with employee. You can start with student. You can start with different one. IT employee, student, car, vehicle. Okay, any value you can give. Okay, so headers you can create with any string values. Okay, that is completely user defined. So whatever the user wish to create the values, that they can use. Okay, first rule for XML creation is the tags are user defined tags, and that should be properly enclosed with the greater than and less than symbol. That is the first rule. And second rule is, you need, when you open the tag, when you open any user tag, you should be properly closed it with slash tag. That is called closed tag. And the third rule to maintain the schema or maintain the syntax is, first you always create with root tag and then create it with the subroot. After that only you can give your actual the child elements. Okay, this is the three rules you need to follow to create uh, XML. Is there any questions here?
We have to give the syntax, right, at XML version and UTF encoding.
UTF and all you no need to give. Actually, Boomi will take care of that. Okay. So basically, you will work only for this syntax. Okay. If you properly create the, if you create a valid XML, right, and if you import it in Boomi, you no need to create the UTF version and all. Boomi will take care of it automatically. By default, Boomi is supporting that one XML 1.0 version with UTF-8 encoding. So Boomi basically have that features inbuilt. So you no need to worry about the version and encoding part and all. It will automatically take care.
So we don't ask our customers if at all they are integrated via Boomi that they need to send the XML version and encoding on the header.
No, no, it's not the actual part. You no need to ask with customer. Boomi supports any format of any encoding, but by default, coming to the customer front also, I'm saying by default, everybody, 99% they'll use XML 1.1, 1.2 until 1.1, 1.0 to 1.2 versions they will use, or somebody they'll use 2.0 version. Apart from that, the encoding part, they will always use UTF-8. If at all they are specifically using different encoding also, Boomi supports that, and the customer will convey that to you. Okay, but by default, the 90 percentage of the customers, they doesn't know like what encoding they are using or what XML version they are using. If the customer is technical guy, yeah, obviously he will inform you the details already, but mostly they don't inform you as well. You also need to ask the version and encoding details from them. Okay, as long as your XML is valid, Boomi supports that. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you one question. I mean, it's not for Madhu, for everybody. Okay. So we have the root tag. Okay, I'm giving in the family relationship. Like we have the grandparent, we have the parent, and we have the child. But if you notice here, okay, all the tags, whatever I have created, right? I have created with the empty tags as well. Not the empty tags, closed tags. Okay, every header value which having its corresponding closed tag. Okay, employee detail is having employee detail, name is having name, designation is designation. Okay, you need to end it with slash. Okay, that is fine. So I have given the names for all the tags, right? Employee details is named as grandparent, and this employee detail one is named as parent, and name is given name as child tag. What is the relationship between name and designation? You see, there are two under the employee detail one. I have two here elements, right? So, what this relationship between name and designation? How do you call it?
So both are child tags.
Both are child to employee detail one. Okay, that is fine. But what is the relationship between name and designation? Both are child to employee detail one. Both are grandchild to
Both are
employee detail
siblings. We
one.
can say siblings.
Exactly. Yeah. Who said that?
Exactly.
Who said that? Yeah. So yeah, if one set has peer elements, okay, we call it peer element or sibling element. Okay, that's the name for them. Okay. If one parent tag has multiple child elements, the relationship between the multiple child elements are called peer elements or siblings. Okay, you can simply call it as sibling. Okay, so that is the relationship between the name and designation. So say if I have employee detail one set, if I have one more employee detail set, and you know, for training purpose, I'm updating this name Madhu, and doing this for okay, what is the relationship between these employee detail one, and why am I using employee detail one? I can go with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and all that. Why I'm not using uh, employee detail 1, 2, 3, 4, and what is the relationship between all these employee detail ones?
They all are under this root tag, right? Grandparent
Correct.
tag. That they are also like peer or sibling with each other.
Exactly. Correct. Yeah, that's the right answer. So there also comes under these employee details root tag. So these root tags, I mean, basically for name and designation, employee details is the grandparent. But coming to employee detail one, who's the, I mean, for all these employee detail one, who is the parent? Employee
Em-
details is the parent. So that is the reason you call all these employee detail one as sibling elements. Okay. So that's how you need to understand the hierarchy. Okay. XML hierarchy. This is what we call it as syntax. Okay. If you understand that hierarchy of syntax, you can easily create your own format of XML tags, not only for XML, but for any coding language. If you take Java, C, C++, XML, JSON, or anything, if you understand the syntax format or the hierarchy, right, you can easily create your own setup. So yeah, so employee detail one is called as sibling elements. Okay, they have the peer elements, so we can call them as sibling elements. But there is one more question I have asked. So for all of them, I have used one. Why can't I use 2, 3, 4, 5, and all? Like this is my first child, this is my second child, this is my third child, right? Why I did not use 1, 2, 3 as the notations? I have only went with one. What is the main reason behind it?
uh, all these parent tags are
Mm-hmm.
this is an employee table, and we have
Okay.
employee, and these are treated as each row as a
Right.
sequential number. If we give
I think the parent tag is only a single one and child tags are different.
Yeah, child tags are different. Yeah, the parent tag we have created is a single one. What is the main reason behind it? If I can go with the sequential order, right? Yeah. I think Madhu was saying something. Yeah, Madhu, you can go ahead.
yeah, but we already defined the employee details have name and destination child tag, and we have different we have array of employee details.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but yeah, even if you have the array of elements, still you can give the sequential number, right?
We
It will
should,
not.
like according to me, we should give sequential number. Otherwise,
Okay.
like because in employee detail one, like one is like Ravi, other is Madhu, and they have like different because they have
Different values.
designations also. So how can they all be same? I'm like not able to understand.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
I think
So the thing is, yeah, since it is, yeah, Hazrat, you were saying something.
as per my understanding, I think the employee details is a kind of a name and designations or kind of a roles.
Okay. Okay. Coming to XML, right? Don't think it has row and column culture. Okay. It's always a tag basis. Based on the tag only it works. Okay. Only for flat files. Okay, you can consider row and column basis. But coming to XML or JSON, it's not the row and column basis. Okay. Just go by the tag basis. Whatever the tag you created, the value setup will be go on that way. Okay. So, but yeah, yeah, Madhu were closely right. Why? Because we have multiple array elements.
Mhm. I want to just add,
Uh,
because with destination we have the value or content, you can say, but employee details does not contain any. Uh, it's not a text; it's an element, I think.
right. Yeah. So one more thing I wanted to add is like why we can go with the sequential number basically. So okay, this is for testing purpose. We are creating, let's say, one to 10 counts. I can give the sequential numbers. Okay, that is fine. Let's say my customer is giving me a very huge data. Say 1 TB of data he is handling, and that XML schema is very big here, and the elements count, right? They are following only the employee setup, but under the single file itself, he has 25,000 employee details. So can I go with starting from employee 1 to employee 25,000? Will it work for me? If I manually I want to create it, okay. Even systematically I want to create also. Will Boomi profile I'm creating with the employee 1 to employee 25,000, is it a good design? Is it a viable solution you would suggest?
No.
No, right? Yeah, that's the case. That's the case. You should not always go with the sequential basis. But the thing is, what you need to understand what we are making here, we are making the structure here. The structure should be generic. It should not be, based on the variable basis. It should be generic. If you are creating something, if it is generic means it can accept all the information. Like if I create it with employee detail one, right? Uh, so say, I don't think this one is required here. Okay, I can remove this one itself completely. As long as my root tags are root tags, parent tags, and child or sibling elements are having the different namings. I don't need to keep the sequential number to identify or differentiate between them. Okay, so I no need to keep all these ones, twos, and all. One second, let me make sure everything has given it. Yeah. So what I was saying is, if my profile structure is very big and it has a lot of employee structures, and if I go with the variable basis, it is not, it will not make any sense to the customer why we are doing the automation job here, right? So the structure what we are creating here, it should be a generic way. It supports all the information inside that content. Okay, I'll show you I'll show you both the ways. Like what happens if we go with the sequential basis, and what happens if we go with the simple way. Okay, what we discussed here. Okay, so I'll show you both, and then we can see how it works. Okay. But yeah, before we move on to this one, I mean, I'm not going to the Boomi screen right now. I wanted to explain all these XML structure here, and we can hold it. So tomorrow when we come back, right? So okay, yeah. Before we go into that topic, any questions with the simple format? The first thing I wanted to ask you with the simple format, then we'll move on to the multiple array structure. So any issues or any questions with a simple format? This is our simple format which contains only one setup, only one user details, okay, only one employee information, and this is our simple format. So the rules, whatever we have followed is we created our user defined tag that enclosed with greater than and less than symbol, and then it is my open tag and I have closed it with slash, which means the close tag also properly used, not only for the root, for all of the tags we have used a proper close tag, okay. That is the second rule. And the third rule is I maintain the structure of root, subroot, and child element setup. And the relationship between the multiple child element is called sibling element. And one more thing, the fifth rule, what you need to follow is the naming conventions, how you are going to define your user tag. So it's not that it doesn't have a proper structure, okay. Uh, Either you can completely go with caps, either you can completely go with small, or you can use same like these camel cases, okay, starting with caps and then small, starting with caps and then small. That way you can use it, but don't use spaces in the middle. Instead, you can use underscore. Okay, spaces create a lot of issues while importing the Boomi profile. It consider, okay, this value. I mean, it will import, but still internally you will see some differences. Okay, maybe the testing time. Okay, maybe the testing time or during your course time, you may not see the issues. But when it comes to the business profiles, right? If the business profiles having any spaces in the middle, and definitely that will create some issues. Okay, during the time you should understand. Okay, sometimes the tag values will not populate properly. Sometimes the mapping what you are doing is that will not work properly. So that situations and all there. But still what you can do is you always maintain the same structure. Like either you can go with caps or completely go with small, or use the camel cases. And if you want to give any differences between the two words, you can use underscore instead of uh, spaces. Okay. Again, don't use any special characters. Okay. If you keep any special characters, that also creates some issue. Go by the underscore always. Okay. Boomi will not, think underscore as a special character. So yeah, you can for spaces and all, you can instead of using the space, you can use the underscore. So these are the five things you need to maintain. Okay. First thing, create the open tags and enclose. Second thing, enclose it with the close tags. And third thing, maintain the syntax with root, subroot, child setup. And if you want to create any sibling elements also, under that you can create any sibling elements. And the fifth point is ultimately the naming conventions, properly maintain the naming conventions. So these are the five rules to create the XML profile. And yeah, sibling elements, as I said, if you want to use for parent elements also, you can use it. So this is our simple XML. When it comes to the multiple XML is nothing but I am creating multiple employee details enclosed under the single root. Okay, so this is my multiple XML. So if I have only one employee details, means that is my simple XML. And if I have multiple employee details, that comes under only one single root is called multiple XML. Okay. So yesterday we have seen XML with single and multiple structure. So I hope your multiple structure should be like this. Okay. It should contain the root tag, and under that root tag, your parent tag, under the parent tag, your peer elements. Okay. And the parent tags like this. Okay. And if you close the root one, supposed to close for all. So this is how I think you guys are created. Okay. Next one is JSON. Let me move on to JSON. This is what to JSON. Okay. When you say simple JSON, right? It basically the JSON format uses for APIs. When it comes to the APIs, right? There are three different APIs. We have like REST APIs, SOAP APIs, and OData APIs. But yeah, mostly the JSON will be used in REST APIs. Okay, because SOAP uses the XML format, and OData and all that also, it's a different format. Like it uses both the formats, XML and JSON. And coming to REST also, it can use XML, JSON, any text format because it is user-friendly APIs. Okay, when you're creating APIs, also go with the REST APIs. So that will be user-friendly, and you can use any format. But yeah, mostly for RESTful APIs and all, they'll use JSON responses, and uh, the accounts like you know the financial based accounts. Mostly the financial based accounts or the financial based integrations, they use JSON format. Okay. Manufacturing, healthcare, or logistics, mostly they'll use XML based or database based profiles. But coming to financial based accounts, they'll use JSON format. Okay. So how to create this JSON? Okay. So basically, same like XML. You use open tag and close tag with slash, right? Same way, open braces. This is this is curly braces, okay? Open curly brace and closed curly brace. That's the first setup you will create for the syntax, JSON syntax. Okay, so that is the first. And second rule, you will be defining your variables. As I told, the naming conversion part, anything you can use, full caps, full small, or camel cases, and don't use the special character. Instead of space, you can go with underscore. Same applies here as well. Okay, you can go with it. But coming to the variable declaration, right? For XML, what we have done, we have enclosed it with less than or greater than symbol, right? Coming to JSON, we will be enclosing it with double quotation. So this is what the variable declaration. This is how we are doing the variable declaration. Sorry, defining. We are defining the variables. Okay, this is how we need to define the variables. And coming to the right side, right? You are giving the values. So in XML and all, what we have done. Second, let me open that sample. So this is how I created my variable. And after the tags, in between the tags, right, I have used my values, right? Same way, coming to the JSON, you need to have one colon, and after that, you can use your values in the quoted form, a double quoted form. So this is your third rule. So first rule, open and close braces, and define your variables enclosed with double quotes, and assign your values enclosed with double quotes. Okay, and you will be using comma separator for each and every element because it has the continuity, right? Till the last element, you will be using comma. So then only system will understand, okay, multiple elements are available in this, um, what is it? Multiple elements are available for this JSON profile. Okay. But if you notice the last element, we don't have the comma. Okay, which means we come to an end and we close the item, the profile. Okay. So employee ID, first name, last name, email, everything should have comma delimiters so that we have the continuation. And once we come to the higher date, we don't have any continuation. So the last element will not be having any commas. Okay. Should not put any
So
commas for the last element. Yeah.
maybe I missed this thing. So first employee ID, like it's 100, it is not in like double quote. So is there a specific reason?
I'll say, yeah, I'll tell you. Okay. Yeah. So this is the fourth rule. Okay. So first one braces and the employee definition. Sorry, the variable definition and assigning the values and comma separator. These are the four rules. Okay. So coming to the fifth one. Okay. You understand the JSON has the values like one is alphanumeric values we are giving or full characters we are giving. So both considers as string. Okay, both considers as string. But only the integer values like your number values if you are giving, right? JSON will accept by default with or without double quotes. Even you can give the double quotes, that won't create any issue. Without double quotes also it will work. Okay, but coming to strings, right? John, Chen, these and all, it won't work. So coming to the strings, you cannot use, without double quotes, it will not work. But for integers, you can either go with the double quotes or not go with the double quotes. It will work. Okay, so that is the one advantage with JSON profiles. Okay, so this is your fifth rule. Okay, this is how you will create your simple uh, JSON profile. So we have completed DDP and DPP, the short form of dynamic document property and dynamic process property. Today we are going to see. Okay, let me introduce a new shape called process none. Okay, in this process, so this is that shape. Okay, what it basically do is we are creating a process within the process. Okay, so we have one main process. Okay, this is our main process. Let's say instead I'll create a separate folder for it. Data. This I will keep it as main XML. Or what we can do is we can do a simple transformation, that is our XML to JSON. Okay? We can take this is our simple integration. So let me take. So this is our simple integration. What we are basically doing is we are going to convert from multiple XML to multiple JSON. But how I am going to perform that is from the different process. Okay, so I'm going to have a process call and I'm going to create a different process which can do the same operation, not from the main process but from the sub process. Okay, we call it the main process and sub process. So by using this process call, you can create n number of multiple sub processes for your core process. Okay, so based on your customer requirements or based on your user defined requirements, you can create your own processes within the process. Okay. So let me create that. And if you guys remember, I told you during the time of taking the start shape, right? We have seen connector, we have seen trading partner, and we have seen no data, but data pass through we didn't see, right? So yeah, here today we are going to see the data process, data pass.
Okay, the use case for data pass through is only in this case it will work. Okay, when you are using a sub process, right? You have a main process and you are about to create a sub process. So this data pass through is uses. This data pass through is uses when you want to pass the data from your previous process, meaning from your main process, if you want to send any data to your sub process, during the time you will be using data pass through. If it is not having any information and it is an independent process, in that case you always go with the no data. So these are the two, mostly these are the two start shape information we will be using for any sub process. So if you have dependency with the previous shapes data, then you go with the data pass through. If you don't have any dependency with the previous shape data, then go with the no data. If you want to create it as an individual process, yeah, definitely you go with the no data. But yeah, you want to get some information from your main process, then you have to keep the start shape as data pass through. Okay, first we'll see with the data pass through, and then we'll see with no data. Okay, so why? Because why I'm going to keep data pass through for now is we need the message, right? So this is the message. This is the multiple XML message we need to get in this sub process. Then only I can receive the information and then I can convert from XML to JSON. So we have the dependency to get the data from the main process. So for that reason, I'm keeping it as data pass through. Start shape as data pass through, and for now, let me save this as sub employee XML. This is our sub process. I'm just saving it, and once I save the process and once I configure the process, you see there are two options: wait for process to complete and abort if the process fails. These are the two options. So what these two options will do is, when you configure any sub process, right, for any process call, you will see these two options. So what is mean by this wait for process to complete means, when you start the integration, first Boomi will start with a message, and then it will move on to the next shape, that is your process call, and it will wait until the process call to complete, and then only it will move on to the next shape if we have anything in the main process. Okay, so that is how Boomi will always work. As I told, Boomi will always runs in a batches, right? So first it will work based on the uh, each shape, right? So first it will process message and then move on to the process call, and when the process call starts triggering, it will wait until that process to be completed. Once the process is completed, then only it move on to the next steps. Okay, that is how it will work. So for that reason, this option will work. So by default, when you configure any process to the process call, by default it will go as an hidden feature. Okay, and next one is abort if sub process fails. If there are any integration failure in this sub process, then our whole integration will fail. So this is your optional field, like if you can keep it or uncheck it. So in this case, if you want to abort the process if sub process fails, uh, if you check it, yeah, your process will be terminated. If you uncheck it, even though regardless of its error, you can move further. Okay, but by default, you always go with this option. Okay. So this is how you configure your process call. It's very simple to create a process call. Meaning, creating a sub process within the main process is very simple. Add one process call shape, and inside the process call, you just create new component. That's it. Okay. Basically, you are creating a different process inside the same. Okay. So let me copy the shape here and copy it. Okay. This is As simple as that.
So Ravi, what is the benefit of using this process?
Okay. I'll tell you. What is the benefit of using the process call? Um, I'll do this. I don't want to show you on record. Still, let me give you one example. Okay, this is my user account. Okay, and you see how many shapes we are using here within the single integration. You see how many shapes I'm using. See, it is more than 1,000 shapes I'm using. Okay, so if I have more than 1,000 shapes in a single integration, during the loading time, it will take a lot of time. Meaning, after the testing, right? If you want to check something, did I not say main process? Oh, yes. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll create a new process. Yeah, the thing is, yeah. So what I was saying is, so if you are having your business requirement having more than 1,000, 2,000 shapes in a single process, and it is not that much easy to see all the shapes in a single screen, right? So in that case, if you use sub-process and keep a bunch of shapes in a single process, and like that, if you keep multiple sub-process in the same process, uh, let's say in one functionality you are doing math addition, one functionality you are doing math subtraction, one functionality you are doing math multiplication. So if I keep all of them in a same process, it will mess up my process, right? And even during the loading time also, Boomi has this build page issue that if there are multiple shapes to load, Boomi will truncate the steps, meaning Boomi will successfully execute, but it will not show you all the logs and all the information for you. Okay, you cannot see most of the shapes information due to the high load. Okay, so we have the truncation issue in Boomi. So due to that reason, we are maintaining the sub processes, and we are maintaining the required modules in a separate set, so that you can go to that sub process and you can easily figure out what what functionality you are doing and how it is working. This functionality details are that you can see after the testing. Okay, that is the main reason we go with the process. Okay. Here what we are going to do is we are going to create the API and submit to the customer. That is one case. And the second case is they will give us the API details. We are going to call them out. Okay, these are the two things we are going to do. Okay. Let me check if I have the Postman account, because from Postman only we are going to test it out. Okay, to test all your APIs, you can use Postman, and you can create your own workspace and start your API testing there. So what I'll do is this business we know we are going to select the prospect type, and if the prospect type is available, we go and check in the database. If it is new, then it will create a new details in database, load the details in database. Otherwise, it won't create anything. If at all it has any errors, we will generate email alert, right? So this is what we are doing. What I'm going to do now is we are going to create a web listener process, meaning this is our regular standard job or batch job. We can go after the deployment, we can go and schedule this process based on the scheduling time. It will run. But coming to APIs or the listeners, right? It is even trigger basis. It has to execute. Like when you trigger an API, it has to run immediately, right? So in that case, it won't be a scheduler process. So to make this process as a listener process, only one way: go to the start shape and select your connector. Listeners always can be kept in the start shape only. You cannot keep it after the star shape and all. So remember, for listeners, you always go and select the connector and keep the listener setup in the very first step. Okay. So now you need to select your web services server listeners. Okay, web services server. Okay, this is what you need to select. And if you notice, this will disable the capture run dates and all simultaneous execution and all. We cannot do it. Why? Because it is an event trigger, right? So as and when the user triggers the API, it has to execute. So this will by default, it will disable these two options. So that is fine for us. Okay. Okay. And if you notice here, the connection details we cannot set up for listener. Not only for this web services server listener, any platform if you take, listeners cannot be having any connection details, because the connection details we will be taking from the platform level, and your platform itself, it will manage that. Okay, for not only for Boomi, but any Jitterbit, MuleSoft, or anything if you take, you don't need to create a connection for the listener integrations. Okay. You will be setting up only the operation, and based on that operation only, Boomi can understand, okay, what type of value I'm going to take, or what type of value I'm going to send. Based on that, it will start doing the access. Okay. So it will have only one action, that is listen. So it will wait for the user's triggering point, and it will wait. And when the user triggers the API, then it listens that API and it validates your operation, that whatever the operation settings you have given, right, is that matching or not. It will see that, and based on that, it will trigger your integration. Once the integration is triggered, the rest of the part, right, this part will run and complete your actions. If at all this is throwing any error, then it will throw the error message for you. That's how it works. So first we'll start with the listener process and set up the operation. Yes, create the operation now. To create the operation, what you need for any API, there are basic 5 elements are required. Okay, remember this: API URL, okay, API endpoint credentials, and HTTP method, can say, and request parameters or body, request body. If it is get call, you will be passing the parameters. If it is post call, you will be passing the body. I will give you the difference what is get and post. Okay, and response parameters. Mostly, yeah, response parameters you can see, or body you can see. Okay. So these are the 5 elements, very much important to do any API testing. Okay, you make sure you got all these details or not, and based on that, you will start working on your API integration. So I'm sharing this in chat box. Please copy that. So yeah, let's go into the operation now. So what we are doing first, prospect tracking web listener operation. Okay. Yes. So this is done. Now we are going to select our method. As I told, HTTP method we need to define, right? So we are going to select our method. Okay, is it get query we are going to use, or create we are going to use, or execute you are to. If at all you are let me tell you the difference between get and post. Okay, get is nothing but fetching the data from the server. Okay, and post is nothing but create or update the records in your to your server. Okay, let's say I want to get the details from the Salesforce server, right? So what I'll do, I'll be using the get request. Okay, I'll be using the get request, and by pass the parameters, I will take it and use that information whichever I received from the Salesforce, and I'll do the computation. But coming to the post request, either if I want to load the data into the Salesforce, or update any data into the Salesforce, then that time I'll be using the post call. Okay. So now what operation we are doing is we are kind of doing a loading part. Okay. So in this case, what we are going to do is we are going to use the post method. But here also, um, to create any API from Boomi side, you can decide whether you are going to create a get call or you are going to create a post call. Okay, based on that, only customer also they will do it. So but what you can do, right, how you can decide whether I can go with the get call or post call. Let me tell you one thing. So how many parameters you are going to use? If the parameters are less than 5, you can use get call, and you can do whatever computation you want to, I mean the logics and everything, you can work it. But if your parameter list is exceeding more than the parameter list is exceeding more than 5. So if your parameter list is less than 5, go with get. If your parameter list is more than 5, yeah, go with post setup. Okay. Now we are going to validate how many parameters we are going to pass for our Salesforce connector, and based on that we can decide we can create get call or post call. Okay. But creating both is same procedure only. But ultimately, how we are going to use the API, that is what we are going to decide. So coming to the Salesforce, how many parameters we are currently using? It is only one. Type is the parameter we are going to use. So in this case, I am deciding I can go with get. Even this can be done with post also. That we'll see afterwards. First, we'll try it with get. Okay. So now I have the get operation type, and I will give some object to call. So what I'll do is I'll give prospect tracking. Get prospect tracking, or prospect track is. So this is my listener name. Okay, this is my listener name. So this is complete. And expected input type, since it is get, right, so we don't pass actual XML or JSON body. So you no need to give the input type here. Keep it as none. But coming to the response output, once you trigger the API, your API should throw some response to you, right? So you can decide what response you want it, whether you want JSON or XML or plain text you want. That you can decide by selecting these options. Single data is nothing but the plain data. So you can enter your response here. Success, failed, something like that. You can directly enter it here. So this information will display in the JSON response. Will display in the API response once the call is completed. Okay. And let's say if you want a single XML object, okay, you are maintaining only one single XML response, you can use it. But you are so your get call or post call having more than multiple. See, it is handling multiple XMLs, meaning say you are using post call, okay, and the customer is sending the post message to you. So Boomi will capture this post message and use the transformation logic. In this case, each and every API has its own XML structure. Either it carry forwards one single XML, or even for one API itself, they will use multiple XMLs. In this case, you can decide, okay, customer is going to use a single XML profile or multiple XML. So if it is multiple XML, don't give the profile here. Mostly for single also, you no need to define the profile here, because ultimately we are going to create the XML at the end or JSON at the end. So no need to give it specifically, no need to specify your profile here. Just select the option. so that system can understand. We need to we need to send some output to the customer, okay, that it will understand. But what format and all, we can define it later. No need to provide the profile directly here. Okay. So I'm going to use the JSON profile. Mostly for REST APIs and all, we generally use simple JSONs. So I will use JSON profile as the response, and I'm not going to define my profile here. So yeah, this is what the basic things we required for creating the listener. But after the listener, we also need to create a few things that we will see. So for let me quickly recap. We'll create the connection at the very first step for listener processes, and then we'll create the HTTP method, and then we'll give the object name what are based on what, each API has its own object name, right? Same when it comes to the prospect tracking process, we have customer, order, prospect. These are the tables we had, but we filtered only prospect related data. Same way, so we are calling the object with prospect tracking. And expected input type, since we are going with get call, so we are not going to use you know uh, much of the body related inputs, so keep it none. uh, since we are using simple JSON, so I'm using single JSON object, but I did not define the profile here. Just kept it empty. Okay, save this process. Okay, now my listener is ready. What I'm going to do is i'm I'm going to use my parameter. Okay, what is my parameter that I'm going to set up for this type? So currently for this type, what we are using is the process property. But this time, customer is going to send the type value, and we are going to capture the type value in Boomi and then pass it to the Salesforce account. Okay, so how customer will give you, let's say, if it is a get call, your domain slash operation URL. After that, you will always find one question mark, and then your parameter details, type equal to prospect. Okay, if it has uh, multiple parameters, let me take one example. Let's see if we have any example. General, any URL, if you see, yeah, you see, we'll take this example. We'll try to decode this one, what they are doing. So this is your basic API URL. Okay, so what they are doing here, this is your domain part. This part is nothing but this one. Okay, or so this is your domain part. Okay, and the rest of the part is operation URL, starting from /s to my learning is your operation URL, and question mark always stands for parameters. Okay, so the parameter here is tab set -fb 46C is your parameter, and the value for it is 3. If at all I have more than one parameters, in this case, what you can find is you can see ampersand symbol. After that, you can see the other parameters. Okay, so this is how you can see for multiple inputs. This is basically your get call. Okay, when it comes to the post call, how it look like is it will have only your URL. It will not contain any parameters. You can easily identify whether it is get call or post call by seeing the parameter list. If the URL has the parameter list, then mostly it is get call. If URL doesn't have any parameter list, then it is a post call. You are going to create or update something into the server. That is what you can understand. Okay, and the parameters list and all, you can pass it through either XML or JSON or any free form text. Okay, This way you can easily understand. So coming to the Boomi community page, it is pointing to the get URL. So then we can consider, okay, some get related API is happening. Okay, that way you can consider. So now we are also creating the operation with the get call only. So we are also going to pass the parameters through the URL. So when you are passing the information or when you are passing the parameter list to the URL, how can you capture it? Okay, now let's see the Boomi guys. They are giving us this ERP, this API, and they wanted us to capture this tab set information equal to 3 means how we can do it. Okay, that we can see. Create one set property, and for capturing all these values, always use DPP, and what is the tab name they are using? Use the same. Okay, no need to change the name. Exactly copy and paste it. Okay, or even for the best practice purpose, I'm using this DPP underscore and all. If at all you don't want that also, that is fine. You can directly take this value. Okay, that is fine. So for any best practice, for the best practice purpose, for any DPP or DDP, I always give DPP underscore or DDP underscore so that it can easily identify the property names. So I'm taking the same tab set name and click OK. And here also use the same DDP name, DPP. Here you put the exact words which is matching with your parameter, exact words. But before that, what we need to do is query underscore. If you don't give this query underscore, you cannot capture that value which is coming from the URL. Okay, that is Boomi default option. So you always give query underscore. After that, you can give your exact parameter. Even if you add any space or anything, you cannot capture the value. So just make sure you are giving the perfect value which is used, which is coming from the URL. The query underscore, your parameter name will capture that value 3. Okay, same way. Now what we are going to do for our prospect integration, we are going to use type equal to prospect. So in this case, yeah, I'm going to use the query parameter is type. Here also I'll be using query parameter type, and let me copy this DPP and so keep this earliest, and here the parameter we are going to call from process property, right? Just remove that and make it as DPP, so that whatever the value we captured from the URL, that will directly pass on here, and based on that it will capture the values and get the information, query the account information which matches with prospect, and then they will load into the database if the records are new. If there is no issue with the query, but if it has any count value already present in the DB, then it will go to the false path. So this is how we created our integration. Now let's say your scenario success or failure, we need to display the success or error response rate. So for that, what we are going to do is I'm going to keep on branch shape before this. Okay, because after this DB connection loading, process will not move to the stop process. So let me take branch 1 and branch 2. Okay, branch 1 will perform the actual API setup. Say now you got your own profile, now you loaded all your data into the database. Now you need to create your own profile to give the response to the customer, right? So what I'm going to create is I'm going to have a SSA and I'm going to create one simple JSON saying braces status equal to 200, message, since it is string, so I'm using double quotes, success, close the braces. Okay, let me verify if this is valid or not. So this is the simple message I'm creating. Okay, let me verify the format is good or not. Yes, format is good. So it's a valid JSON. Yeah. So I created a success message, success JSON. And as I told, remember, as I told earlier, right? When it comes to the listener or process call, what shape at the end we will use? Anybody?
Sorry.
Yeah, when it comes to the listener process or the process call process, what shape we will use at the end? Instead of stop, I told one shape, right? Anybody?
Notify.
No, it is a written document. Okay, using the written document, we'll return the data to the user. When it comes to the process call and listener jobs, you always use the written document. And I'm naming this written document as success, just for my understanding. And same concept. So here I also I'll
Data, right? In the return call,
sorry.
we are just retrieving the data.
Yeah, we are just returning the data to the API user. Whoever triggering that API, right? They want to see the response, how it works. So for that reason, we are creating this.
So we will not use top shape, right? Whenever we use a return document.
Yeah, we will not. I mean, written document also same like stop only, but you need to understand which are the places you can use this written document. There is no limitation. Even in this place also I can keep written document. In this place also I can keep written document. But ultimately, whatever the data which is coming after this shape or whatever the data which is coming after this shape, it will hold it in a temporary location. Okay, written document also a kind of a storage unit for Boomi. Okay, it will hold the information in some temporary location, and it will display it for you in the Boomi process logs or maybe the API Postman response and all. It will show to so that value we are using the return document. But stop, what it will do, just halt the integration. It is not a storage unit. It just halt the integration. We are giving a full stop there. That's it. But here, coming to the written document, it's kind of comma we are doing. Like we have we have some operations for written document. The job for the written document is to display the document value to the user, either in the Boomi process reporting page or coming to APIs. In the API response section, it has to show the value. So when it comes to the process calls or when it comes to the listener jobs, you always keep in mind that to display the response, you always use the written document. Here and all, I'm not needing it, so that's the reason I kept stop. But to display the API response to the customer, I need a written document to hold my values. Okay, that is why.
Ravi, can we say that for all the synchronous processes, we should use return document instead of stop?
Yeah, we can say that. Consider for all your event jobs. When you say synchronous jobs, right? Sometimes we'll use schedule jobs also for synchronous purpose and all. Okay, so I would rephrase like when you are using event related processes, use the written document instead of stop. Okay. So yeah, so we have created our success body. Now we are going to create the same setup for error. So before halting the integration, I will send out an email and I will send the false report to the user, and then we can stop. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to update 404, and here I'm going to use braces 1, and we know this guy. When it comes to errors, document property, metadata, try catch message. We no need to construct the error message. We need to capture the actual error message. So we will always be using this try catch, right? So now, yeah, my process is ready. All errors, good. Now, yeah, my process is ready. I will be saving this integration. And if I want to start, I'm not able to start. Why? Because for any listener integration, test mode is disabled. Okay, you cannot test it directly. You need to deploy the integration and call the API directly. Then only, you can integrate your, you can test your integration. So before deploying, I'm going to check all my integration extensions and see if I have missed anything. Okay, good. So I'm going to create the package and do the deployment. So I will name it as prospect API. Now this is fine. So where is that? Yeah. So now we have completed HTTP definition, request and response structure and all we have defined. But where can I get this API URL and API endpoint credentials from Boomi? So here I am the API developer. I have created the API. Now I am going to submit this API to my end user. So if he wants to call the API, right? We have created this operation part and this part. Okay. And where can I get this part and user credential to call that API? That we need it, right? So you can go to the Boom, create a duplicate, go to the manage atom management page. You select your atom. If you scroll down here under the settings and configuration, you can always find shared web server. If you open that, this is the guy you are going to use for your base URL. So now you start building your API URL. Okay, copy it, take your API base URL, that is your domain URL, and now you are going to create the rest of your integration URL, right? So this is your simple URL path. When you come to your operation, this get and prospect track we created, right? It got created with one simple listener URL. So you copy this simple URL and attach it with your base URL. Now there you go. This is your API URL. And after that, we know we have used our type as prospect. So attach it. Now my get URL is ready. So this point also covered. Now how can I get the API endpoints now? First we'll make sure what is the value we are using here. Okay. Now HTTP method is done, request and response is done, API URL construction also completed. How can I get the endpoint details, the user credentials? So what I'll do is we go to the atom management page, shared web server. In the general tab, I can get the base URL. And if you open this user management, there you can get your user value, meaning your username, you can get it. But how can you get the password? Okay, before getting the password, what you need to do is you need to allow your API to access this Boomi account. Okay, So we created the API, but we are not connecting the bond between the Boomi platform and your API, right? So we are going to connect the bond between them. So click on this allow checkbox and select your API. Okay, it will display your API name. If you select here, yes, now you are connecting the bond. Like there is a redirection we need to create, right? When user triggers your API, the redirection we have to establish. Then only it will it will first come to the Boomi platform and listens that particular operation, and then it triggers and give you the response. Okay, for that reason you need to every time whenever you deploy any API, just come here and enable this allow access. Then only you can able to see the process. Otherwise you may get some errors. Okay, so allow it. Okay, now I got my username where I can get the password by clicking this generate token. This is the first time for this account I'm creating the password. That is why it is coming. If it is already established means you no need to click the generate token. You can always copy it. Okay, so first time I'm doing it, so I'll show you how to do it. Okay, generate token. Yes, there you go. This is my password. Okay, next time onwards and all, I no need to generate. If at all I want to generate, yeah, I can generate it. But yeah, no need to do that. I can directly go and copy the password details. Okay. First, let me take the username for my URL and remove the excess spaces and everything.
And what's the validity for this token?
No validity. This is your Boomi account, right? So no validity. Copy your password. Until unless you generate a new token, you can use it. Okay, mostly when it comes to the Boomi customer accounts, right? You don't generate any tokens. Whatever is already there, you will access always. So even for customer accounts, don't generate it. If it is your training account, you can generate many times. Like if I generate new one, it will update with what. See. So as long as you are keeping it, you can use it. So I'm updating my password. And save this option. Okay, once you save, only this allow and this generate token will stay there for. So yeah, I have saved it now. So if at all in future I want to take the token, I can click on this show token button and copy it. That's it. Every time no need to save it because we did not make any change, right? Yeah, now we got the API endpoints as well. So now we'll try to go and call the API in the Postman. So let me see. So what is your HTTP method? It is get only we are using. And then API URL, you can post it. And then API credentials we need to post, right? So that you can go to the authorization tab, basic auth, username and password you will be giving. Sometimes even everything is correct also, sometimes the APIs won't work. So you need to see and fix that error, what is happening. You may get 404 operation is not working, or you may get some other calls and all. Now, yeah, HTTP method is defined, URL is defined, endpoint is defined, parameter also defined. Only pending part is the response. So when you trigger this API, you should get the JSON response. Let's see. Okay. See, my account is allowing me. Sometimes, if your account is SSO, you cannot, create API or expose those APIs from Postman. Not sure my account is SSO or direct log. So far, I'm using direct login. Let's see.
So here you're just getting the prospect tracking information, right? You're pulling those
Correct.
information.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, it is not allowing me to.
What is the password? After password, I see a triangle error. Is there any specific?
That is normal warning. You can use variables also, but yeah, I don't prefer variables. Now go and check your prospect reporting page. See, our integration listener job is already completed. For some reason, it is not. I mean, the integration wise, it is completed. Let's see what is the return document it returned. Yeah, I see success only. So the same response should have to come here, but the error, I mean, not the error, but alert what I got is whatever the request we created, it is taking more than 30 seconds to fulfill. That is why, okay, 30 seconds to fulfill. That is why it did not display the response. What I'll do is maybe I'll cut off these things. I don't want to do the mapping and all. I'll try to reduce some time to show you the response. We'll take search data immediately. Need to take this. Yeah, I mean, this is enough, I think. So we see, okay. We'll try to pass the prospect tracking and we'll do the query. And if the query is completed, then we wanted to display the response. Redeployment. So our process is good, but I wanted to show you the API response, cutting off few steps. So after redeployment, whatever the changes you made, that will implement. Every change you make, you need to redeploy it. Otherwise, the change will not reflect for your API. Okay. So now, yeah, we are going to do only simple query. After that, we are going to display the success. Let's see now. See. So this is how your API will work. You will get the 200 OK response when it comes to the success case. And this is the JSON body we have defined, right? And if you notice here, we did not provide our JSON profile here. Even if you want to provide your JSON response also, that is fine. But ultimately, for a best practice, I don't give the profiles here. I just select whatever the profile I want to display, that I will keep it. But I don't use the real profiles here. But now we have defined the JSON response, so we can see the response. If at all Boomi goes to the fail state, yeah, it will give me this response. Okay, but for now we don't have any error cases. So yeah, maybe you guys can try it out. Okay, how it works with the error and all. Same response 404 and error message will display. Okay, this is how you can create your own API and you can execute or give it to the customer. Now customer is giving me this API details. Okay, he is giving me these API details. How you are going to call them? Okay, so for that we are going to create a separate job. Let me create a new job. HTTP client I'm giving name. Creating a new job. Start shape is no data since we are going to call that API, right? So start shape is no data. And I'm going to keep a HTTP client connector. So whatever the listener is your server connector, now you are going to client. That is how you share the relationship, right? You send a request to the client process send a request to the server process, and server hits gets the data for you, and then that information you will be sending back to the client process, and you will get the data. Okay. So now we are going to create the client process. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a HTTP client connection and operation. In the connection, we will be providing these details, the base URI details and the username password. And in the operation, we are going to use this rest of the path, and we'll trigger the API and see how it displays the response. Okay. Now, yeah, connection. Let me create a new connection, and I take only the base URL, not the rest of the path. Only the base URL I take, copy, and if you don't have any authentication, keep it none. But currently we have the authentication, right? So keep it basic. In the basic only you will get username password. There are a lot of API authorization methods you have. So OAuth is there, OAuth 2.0 is there, client ID, client secret, and all you will be using under OAuth and OAuth 2.0. API keys and all you will be using here. But in basic, you will be always using username and password. So use username, password, play. Now the action is get only, yes, get. So even the listener you are using, for post call, I told you, right? Same setup, same setup, you use execute for post. If it is more than, 5 parameters, you always use post for post for, for post call, you can use execute method. Rest of the things are same. Here in the input type, you will be using input profile here. And in the set property, how will you capture the, same for post call, we used DDP, right? Get call we used DDP query, but for post call and all, you can directly use your profile element. Whatever profile you are going to get from the customer. Let's say my customer is sending this body to me. This body, what he is doing is, he is giving me some JSON data. So in this one, he is directly giving me body like this. Prospect. Okay, this is my request body now. So when it comes to post call, you need to update this as post. And same this one, in the post call, you don't use the parameters in the URL, you use the parameters in the body, right? You select body and give your you can select whatever format. As I told, we can use text format, JSON and XML and that, but mostly for REST APIs, everybody uses JSON only. So yeah, I'm going with JSON. So customer, they have used this profile, and when they trigger the API, how Boomi has to capture this type is just, select your profile element, JSON element, and select your JSON, and then select your respective type parameter. Okay, respective type parameter, and the same type parameter will go. Okay, so only small difference when it comes to get and post is, for get you will be using the operation type as get, for post you will be using execute. And for get you don't give the expected input, for post you will be giving the expected input. And for get, the set property you will use the query type, and for post you will be using the profile type. These are the 3 changes you will make, and rest of the things more or less similar. And coming to the API construction, HTTP method is, for get is get, for post is post, and the parameters for get you will be passing in the URL, same like this. And for post you will be passing it in the body. That's it. These are the 5 changes you will follow. Okay. So this is how you created your API. But coming to the getting part, okay, customer has given the API details to you. You need to create, you need to access that API from the server. now we created our connection. Let me go and create my rest of the operation. So rest of my operation is nothing but what HTTP method we are going to use, get, yes. And what is my request profile? No, I don't have any request profile. And what is my response profile? Yes, I will be using JSON profile. Okay. Here in the client process, you always define your response profile. Then only, Boomi will return the response for you. Okay. Now, I'll,
Is it take a lot of time to complete this?
let me finish it off in next 8 minutes. Okay? Just 5 more minutes. Okay, what are the objects we have? The success, status, message. This is my response, right? Yeah. So I created a response JSON. Yeah. So same connection is done, user credential is done, HTTP method is done, request or response profile also done. But one part is missing, that the rest of the URL, right? So copy this, but don't select the first slash, because connection part is already set up in the HTTP connection, and rest of the part we are going to set up in resource path. But doing that, we no need to give this single slash. Instead, Boomi will take care of that. Okay, so just copy that part, and if you come down below, you find the resource path. Yes, you will give the resource path without the before slash, because Boomi by default it will take care. Okay, when the connection is making, it will automatically take care of it. You make sure your URL looks correct or not. Yes, it looks correct to me. Yes. Now I'm going to keep the stop shape, and this is nothing but your postman call, whatever you are making, right? The postman call you are making in the client process. That's it. Say I'm going to test the process now to see whether I'm getting the JSON response. When I trigger this API here, process reporting has to trigger that API. See, yeah, it got triggered. See, it got triggered. Here I need to get the response. Let's see. Second time the process got triggered, and it is running now. Yes, here it is running now. As and when it completes, my HTTP client also complete. Yes, it is completed. Let's see the response. There you go. So this is how you create your APIs or you access your APIs. To create your API means you create the listener process. Access your API means you always create your client process. You always use this HTTP client and you provide all your API details there. You get the details.